is my temple. Your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams. But somehow out of reach, eluding me until I release. You come close to me when I release, and I let you take the lead when I release. My heart starts to see when I release. When I release, you said, "Come to my garden, eat from my tree, step in my river, let it take you deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. You walk out, you're able to carry my peace. It's an ancient sound heard from the ones who came before. And now it's here once more to pierce your soul. A simple melody playing over and over in your streets, like a whirlwind turning things, tearing down the dark. That's where I release, and my heart starts to sing when I release. I let you take the lead when I release. You come close to me when I release. When I release, it's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings, your emotions, they find me out. It's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings, your
Medium
emotions,
performer
they
Hydra.
find me out. When I let it go.
This is the highest performing organization on the planet. This
Let
person
it
is
go.
more important than the mystery. The problem is business. We have talked about it. We have 1,000,001 metrics to measure someone's performance. Negligible
Let
and
it
no
all go now. I let it go. Hey, now I let it go. Whoa, 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 I let it go. Whoa, I let it all go now. Whoa, let it all go
Yeah. We are live, everybody. We are here. And we are in the hot-ass dungeon that we're in right now in the Lion's Den, as we still don't have the air conditioner fixed, and we just got hit with a heat wave in this town. So we're all in here, and it's Tuesday night, so you know what it is. We're about to have a conversation about things that are going on, things that are happening, and we want to talk to you guys too. So thank you everybody who's been tuning in. I see you, Carmen Martinez, with the fire emojis. We appreciate everybody. Make sure you guys share this video and hit the like button. You are watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
Yeah. Young Lion TV, everybody. We are live, and we're in the Lion's Den. And, appreciate everyone who's watching. Like I said, make sure you guys hit that like button and share the video because it's the only thing that helps us spread the word about the pride of the Young Lions, as the algorithms don't like us. So we need you guys to share the video. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter right now, any of those platforms, share the video, please. Hit the like button. And also, if you want to support us in other ways, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/YoungLionTV, and you can become a member over there and continue to spread what we got going on here. But with me this evening, as you can see to my left, is my brother, my Asian brother. We just helped him move some stuff the other day, and I got a nice bowl of pho out of the equation that your brother made. It was amazing.
Boo. I'm hating because I wasn't there.
But he is the coolest Asian in the world, Mr. Chang.
What's up? What's up, guys?
This is sick, and it's therefore deviant. We do not want it.
That's I hit the wrong button. it shifted on me.
I was like, I'm sick.
It shifted.
Sick.
And
I'm not sick.
no, someone else. No, but also with us this evening is the Black Batman, going through the utility belt right now. He's trying to find something. he's going through his
the wrong end.
Oh man,
Car charger, the wall charger.
We got chargers over here.
Okay.
You want to plug in over here? There's a USB port right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well.
But he is Mr. Stan Golden back with us after a little break. He's back with us. He's back.
The Black Batman don't have stuff in his utility belt.
Yeah, he done brought the wrong charger. But he's got the Young Lion shirt on, so shout out to that. We both came matching today.
Yeah.
I went to white because it's hot out outside.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's wearing white.
Yep.
Except for me.
Yeah, I know. And next to him, he is not feeling so well, but he's here with us, and we appreciate that. So he's gonna be extra quiet today. Hopefully not. No, but he's the big brother, Mr. Jake Evans Jr. I mean the third, Jake Evans Jr.
That's why his TSA is always messed up.
It gets confusing. There's so
many
of
of y'all.
them. Yeah, I know. And I told him because he always complains about how his TSA pre-check always gets messed up, and I'm like, and you did it to your son too. He's gonna have that same problem.
I mean, no, not if you do it yourself.
Yeah,
Problem is other people do it.
yeah. But I'm sure, like when you sign up for things, or people always put it wrong or mess it up because you're the third.
I don't know.
Do you use the actual number 3, or you do the Roman numerals?
The Roman numerals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do we use Roman numerals?
I was
Why?
just thinking that.
Why?
Like, and that's the only time we bust out a Roman numeral is for someone's affiliation of their lineage.
Or the Super Bowl.
Listen, most things in English are actually, like when you start looking at the etymology of most English words, they're mostly Latin.
Latin,
Yeah.
right?
You know,
Come from Latin
based.
words.
Yeah, like the roots.
So
Come from
that's
Latin
why
words.
we were forced to learn Roman numerals. And do they even teach that anymore in school?
I don't think so.
They don't teach cursive,
My kids learn cursive.
My kids do too.
do they?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Wow.
I know some. Yeah, some schools don't.
I just had to do something, right? Because I had to get the marriage license, right? The
Mm-hmm.
lady was we ended up getting into the conversation of somebody had came there a couple weeks prior to sign for, to get married also, but she noticed that she just printed out.
Her
They were young,
signature?
yeah. She just printed it out. It wasn't like
A signature.
It wasn't like a cursive signature.
Yeah.
And I thought that when, I found out that they weren't teaching, cursive anymore. Like,
Yeah.
how did they sign? How did you make it your own? It's
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, pretty soon there's going to be no signing. That's going to be totally eliminated.
Right.
yeah. It's
Most
gonna be
I was just thinking about that the other day because I'm filling out these documents and stuff, and it's all like over the internet. So it's just type your name,
Yeah.
and that's a
And
signature.
that's your signature. Yeah.
It shouldn't. We could get into a whole lot with that.
Yeah.
but I just did DocuSign for my mortgage, whatever. They have
The space for you
they have
to
the
draw
space
it.
for you
Yeah.
to draw it,
Yeah.
and then you just click that to sign it.
Right.
Anyways, I went off on a tangent.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
introduce,
introduce
the
the
most
best
important
producer.
person. In
She's the best producer in the world, and she is also.
some would say the best ever.
Yeah, right.
She's also wearing a young lion.
Yeah.
frankly,
the white one too.
frankly, I would never want another producer. She is our mother. She is Miss Angelique Lopez.
Being a mother.
Huh?
I said she's still being a mother.
Still being a mother.
She got me medicine.
She got you medicine.
We were here on Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, for
Sunday.
John John's birthday. Shout out to John. John just turned 33.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
And
birthday.
Stanley. We were at Stanley's birthday
Yeah.
on Saturday.
I missed everybody's birthday. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And Jess's birthday's tomorrow.
Jess's birthday is tomorrow.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Crazy. A lot of birthdays.
Yeah.
But while we were there, I'm speaking of mom. So she's like, "Oh, did you get rice?" But there wasn't a lot of rice left, so I'm like, "Oh, I eat the rice all the time. I'll let
Yeah.
other people eat." But then she's like, "No, I made. There's a whole nother thing." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I get rice." So I got rice. But then she brings it out. She's like, "No, this one's hot." So then I'm like, "All right, but I already got some." She takes it, puts it on my plate. like you still treat me
Yeah.
like a kid.
Yeah, she got that mother thing. Someone told me that she was going around feeding everybody rice off like
No, what happened was they were asking me about the food, and I said,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I made the rice," and they were like, "And what do you put in it?" Because the one guy, what's his name, Doug, the Filipino guy,
Oh, Dwyer.
Dwyer.
Yeah.
But he told me they call him Doug too. But anyway, so he was saying that they try to make rice, and I said, "But the main ingredient is the sofrito."
Mm-hmm.
So then that's when I said, "You want to taste it?" And then they were all like, "Yeah, yeah." They all
Yeah.
tasted it.
Yeah.
When you're talking, mom.
I thought the main ingredient was
Jacob.
rice.
Yeah.
No, the main ingredient is sofrito.
No, the most important ingredient is sofrito, but the main
That
ingredient.
flavor.
Well, yeah. Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a packed weekend for us. I'll say we had a show in Chicago, and then flew home and went right to Stanley's birthday party, and then I started preparing for the next party on the next day for John John. What?
I was trying to, she's like so hot. She's not
I'm
switching the
sweating.
camera.
I'm sweating. I just switched it, but I'm sweating. I'm sorry. Whew, it's hot.
Yeah, packed weekend. You were
Yeah.
saying?
Shout out to Lisa Sloan. Said, "Hey, beautiful family, blessings and positive vibes." Yes, make sure you
Hey,
guys
Lisa.
like and share the video. But yeah, packed weekend, but it was great. All family stuff, family time. It was good to see Pise.
Yes,
and-
I missed that.
yeah, and I was telling Moan a funny story. So Pise is Moan's cousin, for those who don't know, but we featured him in our video back in, when was that? 2010, 2011? 2011 maybe. We did a video for one of our songs called Take Me Home, where he was the featured actor in it because of our relationship with him and his story as a vet. And it's one of our first like music videos that we kind of came up with the concept and brought it to fruition. And my daughter, Elise, has been watching that video since she was a baby, like to the point where she would watch it on repeat over and over and over again, and she would act it out. Like she would act it out. She loved that video. So, when she came to the party and he was there, and she's never met him because we've always kind of like he's been busy. He had kids, and we don't really get together like we used to as much. And he's kind of always tied up. So it was so good to see him. But as I'm talking to him, saying, "What's up, man?" We shaking hands, and I look over, and Elise is like starstruck. Her eyes are big, and then she taps me and she points at him. And it clicked to me like, oh, he's a celebrity to you. You've been watching this guy forever. So yeah, it was cool to see that that reaction.
James said so long ago, I had hair.
That's right. James was in the video. That's right.
Mom was in the video.
James had his acting
With
debut
Julio.
in the video. Right. James was like, we're going to get this to Hollywood. I'm going to get me some jobs next thing you know.
Yeah, we had everybody in the video.
Yeah.
T. Shaw was there.
Yeah. Jaden was in it.
Jaden was in it.
He did some good acting.
Yeah. With the
remember our idea with the cup spilling and then you showed him slow motion backwards. Like we had some good little ideas, man. Go watch that video. It's on our YouTube channel. It's called Take Me Home. It's a great song and a great video concept. The story gets people teared up. So check that out when you get a chance. But yeah, it was a good time. Good to see him. And Sunday, all the family was here for John's birthday, which was cool. And just good times all around. I know you were in Ocean City.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
Labor Day. Wasn't crowded?
Wasn't crowded. Monday. No, not Monday. Sunday was the most crowded.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad.
Okay. I haven't been to Jersey Shore all summer, bro.
Really?
Yeah, not once.
Me neither.
I wanted to take to see it,
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But it's over now.
Probably this weekend is the last hurrah.
Yeah, but school.
Officially
school started now.
Yeah, officially it was. Yeah. It was past weekend, but
yeah. And what else?
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming back today.
Yeah.
It was, especially this morning. This morning, like around 7:00, it was like traffic, like crazy.
So what else? Oh, and then I helped Moan move some stuff and got some pho.
I was on the go.
Yeah.
As soon as I dropped y'all off, I went home for a second.
Yeah.
Drove to Virginia Beach.
That's right.
Emptied
right from the airport,
a
right?
house right from the airport.
Yeah.
Didn't get home till yesterday. Unpacked. Jamie helped me move.
Yeah.
What's that drive? How long is that drive?
It depends on
2.5?
traffic. It's 4.5, 5.
4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got a show in Detroit. We got a show coming up, for those that don't know, at Lidditz Shirt Factory in Lidditz, Pennsylvania on September 15th, which is next Friday. So come out if you're in that area. If you're in Pennsylvania, you want to come see a show. We're going to be doing all of our new music. And, it's going to be a good show. So we're getting ready for that. And then the very next day, we got some rehearsals, and then we're flying to Detroit to perform at Motor City Casino, which is a really nice room over there. So, and then a few days later, we're going to be heading to South Africa. So it's going to be a busy couple weeks for us. Just trying to get a lot done.
And then we'll be home for like a couple of days, and then we fly to
Not even a couple of days, right?
Cali.
San Diego, and then Oakland.
Yeah.
And do that little run.
West Coast run.
Yep. And then we'll be back we should be good for a while to chill and rest. But yeah, a lot to work on. New music with Freddie we got to learn. We got to go over that, so he's been...
I'm sorry. I was going to say, how many days is South Africa?
So we leave on the 20th and come back on the 2nd of October.
Okay, so I'll be watching the kids how many days to go to school?
Whatever days are school days that Liz is not off from
I
work.
take that out.
Yeah. So
I was going to ask.
Lisa said, yes, San Diego. Yeah, we'll be there October 6th and 7th. But I think the show is on the 7th with Freddie Jackson. But check his website just to be sure. So that'll be at Sequan Casino.
You're just
So
doing
in El Cajon. We fly into San Diego, but the show is in El Cajon. One show there at the casino. So you can come see us. You can see Freddie there. It's going to be a good show. And then we're going to Yoshi's, 2 nights at Yoshi's the next days after that, Saturday and Sunday, and then fly back. So that's it for that. And
How far is that from San Diego?
El Cajon?
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes.
Yeah, not far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like neighbor.
Yeah. Even further south.
Okay.
So it's like hot. It's hotter than like the city of San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun little run coming up. South Africa thing is gonna be interesting because we got the song "Grateful" coming out on September 15th. Also, almost forgot about that. And we're gonna film some footage for it when we go to South Africa. Try to get some nice stuff for that. Okay, yeah, guys, share the video, hit the like button, all that. Also, drop a comment in the chat if you're watching. I don't know why the Rumble comments don't come up, dude. Like, I see you write comments on there, and they don't come up in the live chat.
Really? Not
Yeah.
until later?
Yeah, I don't. No, they don't come up at all.
Oh, wow.
I see them in the notifications that we get, like through the email. It'll say such and such commented, but I don't see in the live chat. I don't know what's up with Rumble that way, but all right.
So your daughter came over. She slept over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. Had some stuff happen. You know, all good. But
Yeah.
It was just making me think about, like, because, you know, she's 13.
Mhm.
And then Simone, you got a 13-year-old. And I gave you a video, that last video I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to play that because it kind of, like, it talks a lot about, where we are as a country and how we treat our kids and, you know.
Okay. So let me make sure I got the right one. Okay, this one. This is the last one. The one you edited?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go, Mom. You can pull this up. Let's play this. And it was interesting because I don't know if this ties in, but she slept over your house because her younger sister was sleeping over her friend's house for the first time by herself, which was, you know, that is always like a big step for me. You know what I mean? Especially like, so I had to talk to these people, find out who they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meet them, and then we give the okay. You know,
Yeah.
that's why I spent so much time over there.
Right.
When y'all was at the barbecue, I was at this birthday party.
Yeah.
So trying to get
Had
to
a
know
lot
these
going
people.
on.
Yeah, man, it was just nonstop over the weekend. But let's play the clip.
A lot of people in our world view adulthood as something that starts when you turn 18. And that's actually just not true. And I think a lot of the reason why we experience awkwardness during these teenage years is because we're not considering the teenage years as the first season of adulthood. We're viewing it as the last season of childhood. And that in and of itself creates a lot of friction between the child who's growing into something more than what the child has been, and the parent who is struggling to come to terms with the fact that this child is becoming a man or becoming a woman.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And it's something that, if James is still watching and in the chat, something that we talk about all the time. Because it's like we've lost that in this culture, in this American culture.
Yeah.
The idea of ushering people into adulthood, into their role, you know. And when you see like other cultures, they still do it in Jewish tradition with the bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
They do it in a lot of other countries. There's these ceremonies that you do to, especially for young women and young men, and sometimes they become watered down, like the quinceañera or the cotillion, these type of
Even
things.
about mitzvah.
Yeah,
Or
it gets
bar mitzvah.
it gets watered down,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be about preparing them for their adulthood journey and saying like, now you're an adult.
Yeah.
It's not when you turn 18, it's now, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and it's time for you to start mentally thinking and knowing what that role is and being led into that. You know what I mean? There's some tribes that I would watch these documentaries where they make young boys perform these like crazy rituals, whether it's like you have to go hunt some big animal, some big game animal and kill it by yourself, or you have to I saw one that was really crazy where they had to stick their hands in these fire ant holes, and like,
I've seen that.
hey, you
before.
seen that?
It's
And
in Africa.
and they covered their hands get covered with these
Yeah.
fire ants, and they have to like dance around and
It's a
just
bit extreme.
take the pain for like an hour, bro.
That's like 300. You know, you
Right.
get thrown into the wilderness,
Yeah.
and you gotta
Hunt the lion or
fight the
something.
lion or
Yeah.
the
But
wolf.
A spear.
It is a bit extreme, but think about it psychologically. What that does to you,
Yeah.
your willingness. What it does is also is it weeds out the weak men, because it says like if you can't do this, you're not allowed to procreate.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't have a wife. You can't further the
And that's
genetics into our tribe.
That was
You know what I mean?
that's a real thing in Sparta too.
Yeah, right, right.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think it speaks to how many weak men we have today that like can't handle things.
Yeah.
You know? And
Because-
also, I think it's like you gotta mourn your kids.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta mourn them not being kids anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a real.
But-
You got to be able to let that go.
And that's the thing. Society don't want to let them go. It's funny that you're watching this, and it just reminded me. I just seen a video of Pierce Morgan had, you know how he has a conservative on and then a liberal. There was this lady that was really liberal. They were talking about the gender thing,
Yeah.
and she was talking about the woman was talking about their kids still playing pretend, you know, because they identify as a cat. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just the imagination still running rampant. You know, they just have a more of an imagination than the typical 12-year-old. You're looking at them like a kid,
Like a baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
like a baby still, 12, 13 years old. That you're
Right.
going into, you know, puberty.
Right.
Well, I think if you look at the bar mitzvah for girls, bar for boys, what are you doing? The main part of it and the most important part of it, you're learning the Hebrew and then you're reciting scripture.
Yeah.
Right. And you're doing it in front of everybody. And it's about a foundation. I think that's what we have to understand. Like as we grow into adulthood, we're creating our own foundations, but we have to set it on something, or else it's going to be weak.
Right.
Right. So you're like, an imagination is important. You shouldn't lose your imagination, but the problem is you need to ground it in something.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we're seeing. There's no grounding. What is it grounded in? What's it based in? Right. You got to base your imagination in something.
Right.
Or else you get a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Right. And this is what we're seeing today. So I think
Kitty litters in schools.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing.
yeah.
Yep.
And when you don't have men being men, women like are more, I don't know, susceptible to be like, oh, my son, my daughter. It's harder sometimes to let them.
They have
grow
more
up.
of a nurturing mindset, so they're
Right.
gonna want to coddle for longer. You
Right.
know, and father's role is usually to be like, nah, and push them out there.
Let's
Yeah.
do this. Let's,
Yeah.
Like the father is the one who's gonna push them into the teaching and
Yeah.
let's do this thing. Let's
Right.
do that thing.
No, don't do it for them. Let them try. Let
Right.
them do it.
Right.
Let them fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll be there to help them, but you gotta let them. You gotta push them sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't the bar mitzvah like that's the first time you publicly read Hebrew in front of people? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that the role of that? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs.
yeah.
But I know you're reciting certain scriptures that.
And the bat mitzvah wasn't traditionally like that wasn't originally a thing, right?
I don't think so. I'm not sure though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have heard that.
Anyone can let us know in the comments.
But I'm not.
We need to call on our
I don't know exactly.
Jewish brother,
Yeah.
Carter
Fox. Let us know. Or Ophir. Ophir would definitely know.
Yeah.
I'll ask him at soccer.
But yeah, so it's about how we see it. Because if you think about like kids are rebellious,
Mm-hmm.
especially in their teenage years. Why? Because they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to process things, right? But I think it's okay to be rebellious, but you have to ground them in what to not be rebellious against. And when we give our kids a foundation and lead them into that, they know what's right and what's wrong, and then they can say, "No, I'm not doing this." They rebel against the right things, and they hold on to the right things,
Right.
or they rebel against the wrong things, hold on to the right things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean by like you need to mourn your kids because there are
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask y'all, because y'all have the 13-year-olds.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's so many things about there's so many moments and milestones where I get like emotional and a little choked up. And I mean, y'all have experienced it too, even when if it's just like the kindergarten graduation or the first time they go to school, or like the now at least is in Noah in middle school, you know, and watching them go into that journey, and then at least, you know, going into her womanhood, you know, it's those moments. Even this weekend, like me and Liz both, when the kid's parent came to pick up her clothes, and Elise was and Aria was in the car with all her friends, and they're doing their little, you know, girl giggle stuff. Me and Liz were like, we're not ready to like let her, you know, let her grow up. Like that's our little baby, you know what I mean? So
You do. There's certain points in, you know, the child's life where you do have to mourn, you know, like the stage. I miss having Noah, you know, as a little baby. I miss, you know, Stan coming over and, you know, he's running around. He's just starting to run around and, you know, catching them, and you miss those days.
Yeah.
But you have to let go.
Yeah.
You know, they got to grow up.
It's so weird because sometimes I still have dreams about you guys little.
when we're little.
Yeah, and it's sad. I look at
and it
I
happens.
mean, seriously.
You
It
miss
happens
that.
in the blink of an eye. It really does.
When we were at Stanley's party, Dave and Nadia saw at least, and they were like, "Oh my god!" And then Dave pulled out because his picture for me in his phone is still a baby picture of Elise that you took of her at the office when you used to like watch her for me when I'd be in the studio. And
I think mine too.
so he was like, "This is how I always will remember her." And now she's like looking like a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
So true.
Yeah, you gotta.
There's
but
stages
you
in
have
life.
to let it. You gotta let it go. And
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta go through that mourning process. You know what I mean? You can't just skirt by it. I
Yeah.
think that's so for humans, for parents.
We do have cats among us.
Yeah.
For parents, I think it's important that we recognize that and we work through that. But also, we have to recognize that these kids are adults now,
yeah.
and they're learning how to be adults.
Yep.
Right.
But it's up to us to make sure they learn.
Yeah, but if we're looking at them as still kids, then
Mhm.
how can we help them to be adults? We're still pulling them back into childhood
Right.
if we don't mourn them
Yep.
as not being kids anymore.
That's
you
the
know?
thing. If you don't recognize that they've reached a certain milestone where there's no going back, so you need to mourn that stage and usher them into the next stage, you're never going to prepare them because you're always going to be constantly wishing they were little again and trying to keep them little,
Right.
you know.
And that's how I think that's so unselfish. And that's how you know, like, they're not yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're God's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're actually not yours.
Yeah.
But you've been blessed.
You've been blessed. God gave you the gift of, you know, having them as your blood and being able to raise them.
Yeah.
But they're not yours.
Right.
And because they're not yours, you have to be
Yeah.
willing to let them go
Yeah.
in that way.
And that's funny because that's what I pray. When I pray, I say, Lord, thank you for loaning them to me. I do. I said, thank you for loaning them to me because they're not mine, but, you know.
Yeah.
That's why, like, there's certain things, like, you know, that I've heard said before, like, I brought you into this world.
I can take you
I
out.
take you out. Like, you didn't bring anybody.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah,
you
you-
said, I'm going to create somebody.
Yeah.
No, you did what everybody does.
Right.
But the thing that happened was God was
Yeah.
in that. You know?
Right.
You don't create the life. You're just a part of the process.
Yeah. And you can't even control, like, anything about the genetics, anything about like which sperm goes to the
Well,
egg.
now,
Well, yeah,
they're
yeah,
trying to-
yeah.
they
They're
want
trying to
to,
change
yeah.
that. They're trying to change that.
Is it successful though?
They're
You know?
close.
they're trying to make what's it called?
Those
Designer
false-
babies.
and those fake wombs. Have you
Yeah.
seen those?
Disgusting.
The fake wombs that they can grow babies in, like
Yeah.
these bags.
I've heard about them. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it though.
Yeah, they're working on those, man. Shout out to Theris. She said, "I miss my kids being little." Yeah,
Dude, I don't know. The picture just came in my head. Like they can, mess with dogs and turn something that was a wolf into something that's like Royce.
yeah.
What if they like started doing that to like people?
They might have been doing that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Creating these little people.
hey, the Book of Enoch says that they did.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm saying designer dogs is what designer kids or babies. So you think that's for your own desire. That's not for, you know what I mean? You're not,
Yeah.
you're literally doing what you want to do, trying to manipulate it for your own desire.
Yeah.
And that's where it goes.
Yeah.
So,
They've done that with everything. Food.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a banana used to be something little with seeds. Now it's like
Yeah, corn, watermelon, seedless grapes, like all these things that we just take for granted.
seedless watermelon.
Yeah.
How does it grow again?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
And they don't want you to have that
Right.
power to grow it again.
Right.
not even
What?
thinking about that.
I didn't even think about that. Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Even the seeds don't look the same when you get them. Like compared to the old seeds
Yeah.
that was in watermelons, they used to
Yeah.
be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like miniature
It's
size.
these Monsanto GMO seeds.
Yeah.
You can't even
Well,
grow.
Putin,
Yeah.
He banned
made,
all
that,
that.
he
made
banned
that
it,
illegal.
Yeah.
You're a Russian apologist.
No, I'm not. No.
Can't say anything good about that guy.
Yeah, but yeah, that's important, man. With our kids, we gotta start creating a culture where we prepare our kids for adulthood. That's where we're going wrong with, I think, because that's why you got so many 20. Like I've been seeing all these videos of people in their late 20s, early 30s that are kind of purposeless now.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what to do with their life. They don't have any husband or boyfriend or kids, and they watch Netflix all day and go order Grubhub. You know what I'm saying? And they're miserable, but they're coping with it by making TikTok videos.
Yeah. And that's what's sad.
Yeah.
Especially for men, like if you don't feel like you have a purpose, or that's why I believe that suicide has
Yeah.
skyrocketed.
What's the saying? Idle hands are the devil's playground.
Yeah.
Men with
Not in the Bible, but yes.
no, it's just a
No, I'm
saying.
just saying,
Yeah.
some people think.
Yeah.
Yeah. What scripture is that?
Nah, that-
It sounds
it's not in the
wise,
Bible.
so it's in the Bible.
It's just a saying.
Proverbs.
Saying that if you don't give men purpose, the devil can grab them up quick. You know what I mean?
Well, I was thinking about this. Like, fun is, of course, subjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
But fun is joy, right? When you're having fun, you're having joy. But you can't even have that if you're not in safety, right? Like as a child, like how do you have joy? But then you got to learn, even if you don't have safety, how do you gain back safety? You need somebody to go out there and create that for you. Somebody's going to have to step up, right? So even in that, you have to find joy, and that's the purpose. And then it becomes almost like a fun thing. Even like in terms of, I always like am amazed like how you, Jamie, you always provided a way like technically, right? On the technical side of music, like
Right.
you're the one who learned how to do mixing, and engineering, right? And to you, it's fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but you had to purpose yourself to do that, right? And Moan, you do the
Graphics.
graphic design,
Yeah.
right? You had to purpose yourself to do that, but now it's fun for you, like when you create. And even like when we did the cover of Back to Life, even doing that like together, it's fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So I think that's when we realize we're needed as men, we start to recognize like, oh, there's joy in this chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can order things out of this chaos.
Right.
Right. But we have to allow ourselves to trust God.
Mm-hmm.
We have to humble ourselves. You know what I mean? Or else we're just going to complain about it,
Yeah.
whine about it. Nothing ever changes.
Right.
And that ain't fun.
Yeah, and that's what you see happening all the time now on the internet with politics and everything. It's a bunch of people just whining, complaining.
Right.
No one really doing anything.
But going back to our kids, for kids, that's not their job to create that place of safety. They just have to live in it, right? And accept it. But as you grow,
A useless adult that has no skills.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you call that love or care,
Right.
but you're not caring for them in the right way. You're actually neglecting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made you guys work.
Yeah. Yes, you did, Mom.
And you kind of gotta have patience too. I remember you telling the story about how you had the kids doing dishes, but Leslie didn't want them to do dishes because they don't do it good.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, we're doing it for a purpose.
Yeah, you gotta let them do it.
It was the same. I bought the house, whatever. I have a yard now, right? So Noah was over, and the lawn needed to be mowed.
Yeah.
But God's been kind of like dealing with me with like patience.
Yeah.
This dude, he already don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Of course. I look back for a little bit. He breaks the wheel on the lawnmower that we just bought, like 3 weeks ago, running over something. I know it's because he's seen it, but he just is, just like, man, I don't want to do this.
He's doing a careless job, right?
So I had to, be patient with him and tell him, like, dude, like, you got to take care of your stuff.
Yeah.
You got to look, because I was showing him, you got to prepare the lawn to be mowed. You got to be aware of what you're running over.
Yeah.
So something like that, won't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I sure as heck was kind of mad though.
Yeah.
Because you can get frustrated and be like, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know? Like,
Right.
You're incompetent.
You're good for nothing. Yeah.
But he did a good job though. What he mowed half of the backyard. It was, he missed a little bit. But
Yeah, we mowed the lawn when we were kids.
Yeah.
I know y'all did too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot of chores.
And we had the good sized yard and had to do it with the push mower first.
What?
You ain't getting on that rider.
Oh, rider. Heck
You
no.
did have a nice size yard.
Yeah.
No, I've only had to use the push mower. I still use the push mower to this day.
Me too, but I got one.
You got a push? I mean,
You got a rider?
Yeah.
Oh,
You got a rider now?
fancy.
I had it for a while.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, for the back.
Stan's lawn is pretty nice. It's like carpet, thick carpet in the front.
Yeah, I take care of it.
Yeah.
That shit.
You gotta come help me, man.
All right, no
My
problem.
lawn is the worst.
It's hard though with trees.
Yeah,
'Cause of the
that's
roots.
so hard.
the
with
roots
trees.
Yeah,
and
the roots and
the leaves
Oh yeah.
always end up growing weeds. Like
Yeah.
I'm always seeing the tree leaves
Sprout into
Well, not the
weeds.
leaves.
The airplane.
Yeah. All those things sprout all the time.
I hate edging.
I hate that. I love etching.
Do you?
Yeah.
You got an edger?
Nah, I got the weed whacker.
That's
I
what I
turn
got.
it and
I got the I put the metal wire brush attachment on the weed
Oh,
whacker.
okay, yeah,
that thing
yeah.
works good,
Yeah,
bro. I get that in the
Yeah,
all
I
the
need to get me
cracks.
one of those.
Yeah.
I got, because we're talking about men.
We sound like old men.
We're talking about men
Your
things.
lawn is nice.
I'm just thinking about like, nobody wants to hear about this stuff.
Oh my God.
This is how we talk. You know?
But I when they were little, I used to give them a list because, I was working and I couldn't do everything. So they would do it though.
Yeah, my mom was busy. She was working. She'd be gone for like 12 hours.
We would do it in a lot more because especially with this guy,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
how many
Jamie,
messes we
yeah.
made.
I would create messes that we would have to,
we would have to clean up before you got home.
because
Yeah,
then it would
man,
be,
Jamie would flood the house, burn up stuff, pots, put them hide on.
He would
oh,
flood the
Lord.
kitchen like probably every other
Oh,
week.
my God.
but it was because I would be absent-minded and like I would be filling
You
up
would go
this,
do something else.
because we didn't have buckets to mop the floor, so I would like turn on the water, plug the sink, I'm gonna mop the floor, and then I'm doing something else, and then forget.
Yeah, yeah.
Flood the
Because you like, I can do this real quick.
Right.
While
I can get 2 levels of Mario in real quick.
Yeah. So then I'm watching TV, and I go in there and I'm like, Jamie.
Yeah.
Like, oh shoot.
Yeah. And that's what happened when I burnt the pot too. Is I was boiling eggs. You know, eggs take like 10, 15 minutes to boil.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, I can get a couple levels in. Next thing you know, I'm smelling something. Oh, the eggs! I ran downstairs. The eggs was black. The pot was all melted. Yeah, and I was probably technically too young to even be trying to cook, you know.
Right.
But I
have
didn't even notice that I didn't look for the pot until later.
Yeah.
But the floors, you guys will make sure you clean that up.
What's
Yeah.
too young though? Because I tell this story all the time.
Yeah.
I was making noodles at like 6.
But yeah,
Right.
Boiling water and on
And,
the
yeah.
stovetop at 6.
yeah, I was that age when I started cooking.
Yeah. Nowadays, you I know I wouldn't think of a 6-year-old turning on.
Aria was a lot earlier than Elise, like cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
But it would be like she learned how to turn on the stove and fry up some sausage. You know what I mean? She got that down, and that's what she would make. Or some ham or something something just that simple, and then eat that. Not nothing major, But yeah, that's how you introduce them to and show them like how the stove works and the flame and not burn down the house.
Yeah, we showed Stanley, but we didn't let him cook though.
Yeah.
Like we showed him how the stuff worked. And,
Yeah.
what it does.
Does he have a desire to do it?
He would come over and look,
Yeah.
but not like.
Yeah. That's what it is. I mean, it depends on the kid. I think for someone like Aria, she's always been the type like, I'm not going to wait for you to do something for me. I'm just going to do it. Which gets her in trouble sometimes.
That's Jakey.
Yeah. So it's like if she's hungry, she'll go get the cereal and, she'll go make oatmeal. She'll go make pop. And she was like that since she was really little. She would go get the chair, slide it up, grab the thing,
Knows
put it in the
where everything
microwave,
is,
And then you'd be like, I'll come in the kitchen and be like, what are you doing? Me and Elise were just looking at a video the other day. She had to be like 3 years old. She went and got the chair, climbed up on the counter and had a bag of bread and was just eating bread out the bag. And I came in the kitchen and caught her and was like, what are you doing? She was just chilling like, nothing. like she was just always like that where she wouldn't wait. She wouldn't come to you and be like, I'm hungry. She'll just go, I'm hungry. I'm going to go get food,
Go where the food is.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into some stuff, man. Let's get into some stuff. So the first thing I want to show is we had a breaking video. Now, I don't know if y'all remember this from back in like 2007. There was a guy who did a press conference. He said he met a senator in Chicago. And he said that they had a little experience inside a limousine. You remember this guy?
I remember that guy.
Yeah, he did a whole press conference. He told the whole world about how he met some guy.
Nothing
when
came about it.
He was in Chicago.
of course not.
He's
and-
dead, right?
No, he's still
No,
alive.
he's alive. Yeah.
The other guy,
The other guy's dead.
from the church, from Jeremiah Wright's church, he died mysteriously. But this guy, for those that don't know, is the guy, he came out and did a press conference and he told the world about how, and this was 2007, and he came out and told the world how he was in Chicago and for a night or something, and this is back when he did a lot of drugs and he was a gay man. and he was
a gay man.
Yeah,
He
I
is.
mean, he's a gay man, and
I didn't know if he got
he said that he asked somebody, I forget who it was,
I
maybe
think
it was
his
driver or something, and he said, "Do you know anyone who wants to party? Anyone who would want to have a good time?" So they hooked him up with some guy, some young, thin black guy who he never
Light-skinned,
seen
black guy.
before, and they went in the limousine together, and they were doing drugs and doing other things together. And then next thing he knows, he sees this guy standing on the debate stage, and it's Barack Obama, who was then Senator Obama at the time, but he didn't know because he's not like, who knows all the senators?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Especially back then.
Especially back then, unless you pay attention to politics. So he, he talked about how he had this night with, because Obama then came back to his hotel room the next day,
Yeah,
and then
wanted
they,
more.
yeah, and then they
He said he
engaged
he
again.
came for more.
So Tucker Carlson just did an interview with this guy, and he's telling the story again. So I'm going to play a little bit of this.
I didn't see any of this.
Me either. So I just saw that they posted it. So you could pull this up, Mom.
You're just a guy who's in town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party.
Yeah, pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. I had given Barack $250 to pay for coke. I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort, and next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go.
Even though you had sex with him twice, you did cocaine with him, watched him smoke crack twice, you had no idea who he was.
I had no idea who he was.
Let me just ask the obvious question. What was Obama like on crack? Is it your sense that that's who Obama is, just transactional, or that he's bisexual, or like, what is this?
It definitely wasn't Barack's first time, and I would almost be willing to bet you it wasn't as long.
The guy's running for president, and credible information comes out that he's smoking crack and having sex with dudes. That seems like a story.
Well, it would be a story if the media really cared about telling people the truth.
Boom. He's talking to Tucker. So and we just had the story of the ex-girlfriend who had the letters that got uncovered. Remember that? That came out and said that he wrote to her and told her that he often has fantasies about having sex with men. Yeah, so there's something going on there.
And I saw his story. This guy, now that he looks so old, I saw him when he was younger telling the story.
Well, that's the press conference I'm talking about. He did that back in 2007.
Yes, right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that was back in 2007 when
He's sticking with it, huh?
Yeah.
And when he went in, he was against gay marriage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But then that changed.
Right.
In the White House, everybody knows the epic White House turning rainbow colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Biden was against it too.
Yeah.
He came out and made a statement about sex is between marriage is between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting. More news on Obama Gay Gate.
Is that the hashtag?
I don't know. That's what I'm calling it. Obama's Gay Gate.
There's a lot of Obama gates.
Yeah, the chef turning up dead. His house in Maui not getting touched. A lot of things going on.
Yeah, even all the stuff he did.
Is his house blue too?
It might be blue.
Probably.
It might be blue. Did y'all see the viral video of The Rock and Oprah asking people to donate money?
That.
Everybody's been, really coming against that.
Donate some of y'all money.
Yeah. Well, they claim that they donated $5 million each, but apparently that $10 million went to start up the company that was going to collect the funds from the you know what I mean? Like that was startup money for the organization to.
Why do you need $10 million to start up a company?
Exactly.
To get money,
right?
Like to
because
collect money.
It's money laundering. It's money laundering, bro. Yeah,
it's crazy. Shout out to Jody Purdy, Paul Horner. What's up, Paul?
What up, Paul?
What up, bro?
Patreon member right there. Hey guys, right? Drop a comment in there and say what's up. So Obama Gay Gate has another little side to the story there. Then we have this from his vice president and now the president, Joe Biden. This is at the Medal of Honor ceremony. I don't know if you guys saw this clip.
Nope.
He was supposed to be presenting the Medal of Honor, and this happened. This dude just like walked off the stage, bro. Like, look how they're looking. Like, where's he going? Like, he's literally just left, bro. Lost. He's lost.
My man just standing there.
My man standing there like,
all right.
Okay.
I'm older than he is, and I got it together.
Right.
He's like, what is going on?
I'm 20 years his senior.
Please join me for the benediction.
Like, this dude just left, bro.
What is Jean-Pierre gonna, say about the excuse?
You got to understand that the medal was top of mind for Biden, and he knew that he knew that by him walking off stage, it was going to allow for a space for him to fully be recognized because he didn't want to steal his spotlight. He didn't want to overshadow what the medal represents. So the president knows this.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
because it was his day.
Bunch of nonsense. Is what they're gonna tell us. Yeah, but they want us to believe that this guy needs to be voted for.
Did you see how they're preparing for the vaccine now? They're talking about all this stuff that's going on and saying that,
Well, Jill Biden just got COVID.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, and they made that headline news. Yeah. Like, that shouldn't even be a story anymore. Like, oh, she caught a cold.
Yeah. She's a doctor. She should know how not to catch a cold.
She should be able to know how to treat this. She's a doctor.
She's the best doctor.
Yeah, she should be Attorney General.
Yeah.
No, I mean Surgeon General.
Surgeon General.
Yep. She should be Surgeon General.
According to Whoopi.
She's an amazing doctor, okay? She is an amazing doctor.
She sounds like Marge Simpson's sister.
Yeah.
You already have an amazing Surgeon General.
Yeah. Okay, so in other political news, did you guys see our boy Vivek getting exposed for some of the past things coming out?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it too.
What about him asking our boy questions when he was a Democrat, when he was a kid?
That's part of it. Let me just play this little short clip from Anomaly because he kind of breaks down some of it.
Today.
I've seen some of the stuff.
Well, we'll talk about it.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight.
Oh, this is when they're saying he plagiarized Obama with this little thing.
What the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage? I'll tell you, I'm not a politician.
I'm a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too.
So who is Vivek Ramaswamy? The Obama plagiarizing Big Pharma CEO, who wrote a book less than a year ago in which he compared Trump to sore loser Stacey Abrams, said he respects Pence, and says that Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th. A man who tweeted out, "Well said, George Soros," and seemingly even parroted his rhetoric on open society. A man who took money for his law school from a Soros fellowship, said he did it in a video defending himself, quote, "when I didn't have the money."
When I didn't have the money and it was a merit scholarship.
Yet Fox News reported that he made millions of dollars that year and $1 million every year for a couple years prior, so he lied about that. A man who made a fortune off of a failed Alzheimer's drug, and a man who just last year wrote a Wall Street Journal op-ed in which he said, "The most important step in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic was the distribution of vaccines." That's in 2022. So who is Big Pharma salesman Vivek? Well, he's whoever you want him to be, because just like Obama, he'll say whatever he has to say, even copying Obama.
So he kind of lays out a little bit of it there. Some of that stuff I've heard Vivek kind of address. I forget who interviewed him and asked him a lot of those questions, and he addressed them. Especially the Stacey Abrams quote.
Officer Tatum, I think.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about. I forget who it was, but he did address the Stacey Abrams quote. And he claimed that what he was doing was he was trying to show that Stacey, he was trying to make the comparison because everyone quotes Trump as like this insurrectionist who was a election denier, and so he put all these quotes up saying Donald Trump said this, and said that. He said, but if you keep reading, he says, no, Donald Trump didn't say that. That was Stacey Abrams. Like trying to make the comparison, saying like, you think Trump is an election denier, but Stacey Abrams said all of these things that are denying elections. Not to defend him because I don't really know Vivek like that. I mean, he says a lot of good
He
things.
says a lot of right things.
He is kind of propped up as like the next best thing to Trump because he defends Trump so much. It does seem like he's kind of like trying to
set himself up.
Yeah, and kind of like trying to schmooze up next to the Trump base, the MAGA base, if you will. But there's a lot of weird stuff about his past. I'm gonna play another video right here from this guy breaking down some stuff.
Seems to be the right's new it boy that all the conservative grifters like Candace Owens and Tim Pool are latching onto. And one of his big claims at the debate the other night was that he's not bought and paid for like all these other guys. But how exactly did he make his money at such a young age? And you're probably guessing, seeing as I'm making this video, that it wasn't some sort of unethical way. But you're going to want to stick around because I would almost guarantee you it's worse than you're thinking. After working at a hedge fund for a while, Vivek made his big money in the biotech space. Vivek had a company called Axavant that was incorporated in Bermuda, but was pushing a drug called RVT-101 that was supposed to help slow the effects of Alzheimer's. But where exactly did this awesome new drug come from? Did Vivek develop it? Well, of course not. And this is where it starts to get a little crazy, because he actually purchased the rights to it from a bigger company, GlaxoSmithKline, for just $5 million. But wait, hold up. If this drug does what they say it does, why would GlaxoSmithKline sell it for just $5 million when they could make billions? Well, it's because they had pretty much given up on the drug after it failed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 clinical trials. Because what Vivek did is he took one of those failed clinical trials, put his mom on the research team, who is a doctor, but was also on the board and had stock options in the company, and they took some people out, reworked a couple things, finagled a couple others, and all of a sudden that failed clinical trial was now a clinical trial that showed significant improvement. Just like that. Overnight. You then, of course, rename the drug, and now you have a promising new drug and a finagled phase 2 clinical trial that you can cherry pick a few lines from. You then go on CNBC and talk about the unlimited potential that this company has. Then all you gotta do is file for your IPO and watch the money roll in. Even though before the company itself actually makes any money, you got to pass phase 3 clinical trials, but more on that in a second. And when they eventually did do their IPO, it was the biggest biotech IPO ever. The stock doubled on the first day, and eventually it went from $15 all the way up to $50, based on a hope, a prayer, and Vivek's salesmanship. But then after the stock shot up and enough time had passed so Vivek's family and rich friends could sell off their shares, it was then finally time to do stage 3 trials. And surprise, surprise, it completely flopped, which caused the stock to drop 99% in one trading day because it was now a worthless stock. But he had always known it was a worthless stock. And if you do know anything about the stock market, you're probably asking yourself, why does a company called Axavant have a ticker CO Gene Therapies? Well, that's because after the stock completely tanked, he changed the name because he wanted to make it harder for people to find his pump and dump company. So to recap, the guy that wants to be your president made his fortune by buying a drug that he knew was garbage, super cheap, then using one of the trials that proved it was garbage, having his mom rearrange a few things. He then went out into the media and sold it as the next great American company. And then some poor schmuck that happened to be watching CNBC that day invested in his company, and in one trading day lost everything. But it's okay though, because Vivek, his mom, his brother, and all his rich friends had already made a killing. Finally, in closing, Vivek seems to think that wokeness is destroying the country, but I would really like to ask him.
Okay, that's when he gets into something else. But that is kind of shady. That the way that money was made right there.
Yep. And there's other stuff too that I've seen.
Yeah.
Where he contradicts himself.
Mhm.
Like, completely. So
it seems like
I mean,
he changes his position on things a lot.
Yeah.
The fact that he went to Yale on a Soros scholarship. Soros, it wasn't George Soros, but it's George Soros' brother. Gave him $90,000 to go to Yale for his master's degree. We know what's at Yale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What secret society is a part of Yale, and who went there?
Is he a part of that secret society?
We don't know. I mean, it's funny though that he already was a college graduate. He was making money in the biotech world already, and then decides he's going to use this grant to go get his master's degree, and goes to Yale, and then all of a sudden he's like being groomed as this political figure after that. You know what I mean? Some of that is kind of weird.
I just saw a video today, as a matter of fact, earlier, that Anomaly interviewed him.
That's what I was going to give him credit for that too, because he doesn't run away from any of these questions, except for this right here. So, pull this up. So this is from Yahoo News. Vivek Ramaswamy paid to get Soros connection erased from his Wikipedia pages. Now, this is another shady thing that people don't know, is that they found out that he put up money to Wikipedia editors so that they could go in and erase that connection on his page, which could just be because they knew it would be a bad look politically. But the fact that he's not a registered Republican.
He's still registered as a Democrat?
I don't know if he's registered as a Democrat, but he's not registered as a Republican. Voting records in Ohio also show that Ramaswamy didn't vote in the state's primary election in 2022 and 2023. So he
lied about that.
Yeah. No, that's not it. Hold on. I'm trying to find this. Oh, this is the thing you were talking about, Moan. So in this old clip that resurfaced, he was on MSNBC with Al Sharpton.
A fat Al Sharpton.
And look who he's with. You ready?
Beto.
Reverend Sharpton, hello. I'm Vivek, and I want to ask you, last week on the show we had Senator Kerry, and this week and the week before we had Senator Edwards. And my question for you is, of all the Democratic candidates out there, why should I vote for the one with the least political experience?
Well, you shouldn't, because I have the most political experience.
Yeah, we don't care what he has to say. I was trying to see if they show it. So
that they
you know who was on the same panel as him asking those questions?
Buddha.
One Pete Buttigieg. But it's just funny. He's talking to he's on Hardball.
That's interesting how
asking.
So they're like giving these people, like these certain people are being given.
They're like
the
getting
platforms.
but they're getting sprinkled into the zeitgeist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and he's talking about voting Democrat here. You know?
Yeah.
And this is Kerry and Edwards' time. So this is back during the Bush election. Is that when this is?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, like early 2000s.
Yeah. So I know it's just weird, man. It's interesting. Like, there's a lot of things that are kind of weird and shady and not adding up about this guy.
Yeah.
And people are starting to pick up on it.
Yeah.
You know. I always would tell people, like, they would say, "Oh, what do you think about Vivek? He's saying a lot of good stuff." I'm like, I just don't really know if I trust him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But everything that sounds good ain't good.
Yep. But I will give him credit for it. He was on he went on Anomaly's program today, and Anomaly asked him all these questions to his face. It got a little bit combative, I will say, and his answers are very politician-like, you know.
Right.
But he does have an answer for everything.
Look, I mean,
Yeah.
when they start with look.
If you want to get to the facts of everything, I can get there. We can go to the facts. He's like, I love skepticism. Everyone's supposed to be skeptical, you know. But what I don't like is when people don't have the facts. And then he goes into why this happened or why he took the money from Soros. He said this was during a time when I didn't even know who George Soros was. I just saw an opportunity to go to get my master's degree, get my my master's degree from a grant from someone else and not pay for it myself. And then Anomaly asked him, like, but you said you went because you didn't have any money, and it turns out that your tax returns were for $2 million that year. And then he said that, the standard of living and blah, 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 blah. To me, it was still not worth it for me to take that money and not use my own money. It was a no-brainer. And anybody who wouldn't take that money, I don't think they should be president. That's what he said.
Slick.
Yeah. He's a good politician.
Yeah. I don't. There's something I've always felt like when something seems too good.
It's almost like he's a plant or something,
right? And
you
that's
know what
why
I mean?
I'm like,
And you notice that like there's these people that they're pushing out there to give people another alternative, because I think like all of their data and all of the polling shows that Trump is the front runner by far. But a lot of people are open to someone else if someone else could, you know, be in his place that would be less divisive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I think Trump is what you get, right?
Yeah.
But also Florida guy, what's his name?
Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis, he's not good at debating. He's not good. Like he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
But
he's a good governor. He's a good governor, and he makes good decisions for Florida.
Yeah, he's good off the cuff. He's a good legislator.
Yeah.
Right? But he lacks in like that debate.
That witty.
He don't have a show.
Yeah. And he don't have charisma. He don't have the charisma
He's
thing.
more of like which I'm not saying you need.
Yeah.
I'm not. But
because those things can be tricks.
Right.
We know that from
Right.
Obama. And they're calling this guy the brown Obama. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but it does seem like he's more charismatic and he knows the right things to say. Sometimes
the fact that you're running for Republican president and you're not a Republican, like you're not a registered Republican, that's weird.
And
you've never voted Republican ever?
Yeah. And we just talked about how Obama ran on certain things. And then he flipped. Right? So, I mean,
anyone can do that.
Yeah.
They can say all the right things and then they get in there and they totally don't do any of that.
Yep. Why wouldn't they plant somebody in there?
Yeah. Absolutely. Soros can get in there and groom anyone and then be like, okay, now you're going to take this amount of votes from Trump. And they're, I think, because they're looking at it like if the tactic is get Trump off the ballot, right? Using these indictments, using whatever they can, if they can pull that off and get him off the ballot, they want people's next best choice. They're going to want their pick to be people's next choice, right? So the only guy who's up there, like he is not. Remember when the debate stage, like when they were asking, would you still support Trump even if he's indicted? And his hand went up so fast.
Would you pardon him?
Would you pardon him? Yeah. His hand went up so fast. You know what I mean? And some people are like, he's a little too quick to just be on Trump's, you know, which it's at first you're like, wow, that's what's up. This guy is like telling it like it is. But then at the same time, it's like, that could be a trap.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That could be a trap.
Especially, it's a shame that we gotta play these games. But
yeah,
this is the world we live in, man.
Yeah,
and it sucks.
And looking how he made that money in that shady way. Yeah.
From that, it's like if you can't show me a way where you have completely changed your life, like significantly, something that's shifted.
Yeah.
Then I'm not with you.
Right.
Because there's too many variables that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And I know how people are. Like things you're not going to just change. Yeah, people change, but there has to be things that happen
you have to
in
see
your
growth.
life drastically that you're like, yeah, I did this, but I had this happen to me. This happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that with him. So that's what makes me very skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
How could you be there even if it was like 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how could you be there and now you're here? It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's not even. How old is he now? 37?
38.
38.
Okay, so that wasn't even that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? 6-7 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Right? When he was like doing that. He was like 31, 32, right?
When he did what?
When he did that.
Hardball?
No, when he did the that company.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's too many things, man, that seem weird to me.
Yep. So Vivek might be a Ramaswamy.
I see what you did there.
Vivek Ramaswamy. That might be what we're dealing with here. Yeah. All right, let's go to some of the stuff you sent me, Jake. So we got this video here. Mom, you can pull this up. It is a YouTube short, so we're gonna try to do
I
our
know
best.
you- I know
Hopefully
you
it's
hate the YouTube
because it just there's no way to control where it
Yeah,
starts
I
playing. You know. All right. I was just hopefully this is the beginning.
Guy hit on me,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So he said, "Hey, you married?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "You happy?" And I was like, "No." And the reason why I said no was because one, I'm brutally honest, and two, I was not happy at the time. But what does me being unhappy have to do with whether or not you have a shot? Here's the thing I realized. A lot of married people don't know how to be unhappily married and still not walk away. If you could learn how to be unhappy for a minute, your marriage will last. Because the goal in marriage is not happiness. The goal is to build a lasting relationship that withstands the ebbs and flows of marriage, of relationships.
Oh God.
So loud.
Yeah. Gain staging people. When you make these videos, you got to make sure the volume doesn't jump out like that. But yeah, I agree with what she's saying. I agree with that. Like we have this false concept of what marriage is, and I think it comes a lot from, stories and Disney movies and the concept of happily ever after. What? How many times have we heard that?
Yeah.
Happily ever after.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yes. Some of the like wedding companies are called happily ever after.
Yeah. How many times have you seen people say in movies like, "I'm just not happy"?
Yeah.
Like, and?
Yeah. Dude, there is nothing you're ever gonna do in life that's gonna make you happy all the time.
Yeah. Well, we were just saying, fun is subjective. Just like happiness is subjective.
We love soccer
Yeah.
and we have a lot of fun playing it. But how many weeks do we be like, "Yo, this sucked this week, man. Man, this was horrible.
You're
man."
not happy that week.
Yeah. But next week, we're going to be right back.
Yeah, because there's a relationship.
Yeah, it's a relationship with the people. Sometimes you're mad at the people you played with that are on your team. And then the next week, you love them, know?
But the thing is, like, because there was something, Mike said to me.
Yeah.
As far as, he was like, I was talking to the one guy, because me, I'm always trying to give, like, little things.
Tips. Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's coaching. He's always coaching out there.
I'm always coaching. So this one guy, he's just like, he's playing on the wing, and he just gets the ball, puts his head down every time. And I'm like saying, pass the ball. I'm like running with him. Like, he could just pass to me. He's not paying attention.
Yeah.
He gets the ball taken away every time.
Yeah, he's killing us.
Like, he was killing us. So I'm like, I just say to him, "Yo, just lift your head up sometimes. And even if you pat, like, I'll call it. Listen for my voice." And then Mike was like, "Yeah, you saying that now is not going to change what he does." I'm like, "Yeah, but if I put that thought in his head, it's going to help him." And then he's like, "Yeah, I just don't think that it matters." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's because." And I said to him, "Yeah, that's because you don't have hope in him. I got hope in him that things could change. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. If I don't care about him, then I'm just gonna be like, oh, he sucks, and that's it.
Yep.
No, I have hope that he could be better. You know, and that's what grows the game. You know.
Yep.
But if we're playing
Or a relationship.
Because if I'm like, I can't play with him. You know, then I'm gonna be. I lost.
Yeah,
like
you
right?
gave up. You gave up.
Yeah, and I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
So
what did Mike say?
No, he was like
He just
he just
brushed it
said
off.
he said yeah. He didn't say nothing.
Yeah. But I think we have to have that understanding that a marriage is about, and we've had this conversation with you because you're about to go back into this journey, and it's like marriage is not going to be just great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if both of y'all are of the mindset where we're going to work through this and build on our relationship no matter what, then it can be a successful marriage. If it's always about like, I need to be happy at all times, there's no, like, that's just delusional thinking.
No. Yeah, I do think that it is the man's job to go the extra mile.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the woman's job to go further, because the Bible says husbands love your wives. That's a deeper thing, right? But wives submit to your husbands.
Yeah.
So I do think like a man should be fighting for their marriage no matter what.
Yeah.
like if you're not fighting for your marriage, to me, you're not doing your job as a husband, right? But of course, if the woman's not in it and like you can't do anything about
Nothing you
that.
could do.
But you have to be coming from the place of love, and even that you got to learn that. It's
Right.
not like that's easy, and it's just you got to come from the place of love. No, it's a thing you got to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it humbles us as men.
Yeah.
I think this is why we're seeing marriage rates decline now. This is why we're seeing like men, this whole movement of men not wanting to get
The
married.
manosphere.
Manosphere talks about it all the time because we've allowed the state to get involved in marriage too much to the point where women are now incentivized to leave.
Yeah.
You know, they're incentivized by no matter what, because the marriage courts are skewed against men heavily.
Right.
So men are now scared to get married because they're put at such a risk of like at any point
Losing everything.
Yeah, because this concept is not instilled in young women. So at any point, if they feel unhappy, they can leave.
Right.
At any point, they can just decide, I don't want this anymore, and I'm taking half your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go live my best life, and I'm gonna have the kids. You know what I mean?
But even in terms of like men saying, well, I don't want to get married because, like, to me, that's a lack of hope, right? So, and I'm not saying to be dumb and say, well, I'm hopeful, so I'm just going to do it. No, that's not wise either, right? You have to be like, no, but this is something that we see from the beginning in Genesis,
Yeah.
right? In Genesis 2.
Right.
So you got to think, okay, well, if God spoke about this, then there's a way. But I have to have hope in him. And if I have hope in him, he's going to give me wisdom in how to deal with this, and how to do these things. If I'm not married, how to get married, right? And because when you just jump into something blindly and you think you got it, like, come on now, we know, right? Did we have it all figured out when we got married?
No.
You first married, you know what I mean? Like, you think you know, but you don't really know. And it takes us humbling ourselves to recognize, okay, you can't go into anything blind, right? Faith is not being blind.
Yeah.
Faith is trusting in the word of God. You got to know the word of God. You know what I mean? If you don't know it, then what are you pulling from? You know, so.
Everything else, everywhere else.
Yep.
Like, is it true that marriage works? Yes. But if you just stay there, that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, let's move on to another clip. What else did you send me here? The worst lie pop psychology sells you is self-love. That one?
Yeah.
All right, let's play it.
Balance in their brain.
Hold on, let me start it over. This guy's reels and shorts.
Time doesn't have one case report of one disease validated, not one. What they do is they meet at the American Psychiatric Association, they meet in the DSM committee, Diagnostic Statistical Manual Committee, and they vote on making new behavioral and emotional disorders, and they vote, and then they start immediately calling them diseases. And they tell people, they tell the public these are diseases. Total fraud. Total fraud.
The actual truth about chemical balance is that it's an actual lie. Nobody has yet measured, demonstrated, or created a test to show that somebody has a chemical imbalance in their brains.
Wow.
There is no rational science behind what they think is the cause of these symptoms.
How long have we been hearing
The
that?
medications that are being given to people are, without exception, introducing chemicals that are altering the brain in ways which can be very damaging. In the absence of a proven chemical imbalance for which the medications are, quote, rebalancing or fixing, the medications are in fact toxic.
So you have to ask the classic Roman question, legal question, cui bono, who benefits? The people who makes the diagnosis.
The people,
the people,
the pharmacists, the big pharma,
Yeah,
right? Again,
yeah.
Go back to big pharma. We got to get them to do this in a way where it benefits us.
Yeah.
Right? I was just watching the OxyContin Codeine.
Yeah,
Codone,
the
whatever.
Purdue family documentary thing.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty good. I saw the one on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching that. It's a different perspective.
Yeah.
A little weird.
But I did see the guy talking about the scene where they show the guy from the FDA who wouldn't approve it for the longest.
Yeah.
And then they took him to some private party in a hotel room for 2 nights and he disappeared.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they got approved.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
And then he got
forever.
No. He was like locked in this hotel room for 2 days. God knows what happened in there. And then he came out with a signed approval for
That's some
Oxycontin.
gangsta stuff.
Yeah.
And he got a job. He quit the FDA.
Right. He quit the
went to
FDA
work
and
for Purdue.
was got a $400,000 a year salary working for Purdue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the type of stuff that they do in these regulating bodies of our government.
Yeah.
You
Like
know?
for him, there was something it was MICE. Like that was the acronym. And I don't remember what it stood for.
Mhm.
The last one that they focused on him was ego.
Mm.
The E in MICE. I don't remember what it was. You got to watch it to find out. But
So
yes.
for like how to break people,
Yeah.
or how to get them to do what you want,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so for him, it was ego.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what they focused on for him. Because he was like, he was all about the science.
Yeah.
So
and he kept denying them approval. Yeah.
Right.
He
So
was
they
like
were-
the only one at the FDA that kept denying them approval.
Yeah. So they were trying to get to his ego, trying
Yeah.
to figure out ways to.
Yeah.
And then they went full commando.
Commando.
They said,
I'm
"Let's-" They were like, we want to be a little more personal with our relationship. Let's come to.
Let's get you some Russian hookers in a hotel room and some cocaine.
I don't know
and
exactly
some.
what it is.
That's what I'm envisioning. Okay, that they just like they went
And probably
full-
had it on camera.
Yeah, probably got him.
I got some
comprom-
underage.
Yeah,
Was
got him
Epstein
compromised.
involved?
Yeah, it could have been. Could have been.
Probably early on.
Mm-hmm. He was at like some high ritzy hotel, and then came after that 2 days. They had a written approval for their FDA approval.
Yeah, but just like that shows, and what we just watched.
Yeah,
they'll do anything to skew it to make it look like it makes sense.
Oh, and one thing I want to point out that because the wizardry that came out of the Purdue family and Oxycontin, the first time that was ever written into CDC language believed to be.
Oh yeah.
Because they had never used that before
That's right.
in any CDC language, because it was always about science.
Mhm.
There was never about belief.
Yeah.
So with Oxycontin, it was the first time they used that it was believed to be unaddictive.
Yeah.
So
And they had no science to back that up.
yeah, because you can't back up believed to be
Yeah.
scientifically.
And
That's
he
why.
still
Yeah.
saves his reputation.
Exactly. Exactly. So I just wanted to point that out. Wizardry at work. But yeah, I've always heard that psychology is a pseudoscience. I kind of always believe that because it's like, it's all subjective.
Yeah.
You sit and talk to somebody and come up with a diagnosis based off of your opinion,
Yeah.
And that's the same conference that they changed the transgender thing, right? Like
The DSM, yeah.
159th year that video showed.
Yeah, because it used
So
to
they've
be considered body dysmorphia. It was like a mental disorder. It was listed in there.
Yeah. The fact that we have to put it in a box.
Mhm.
Like this, it's this.
Right.
Like that's where I think it just makes people feel safe.
Mhm.
When they're not safe.
Yep.
Oh, I have this. See, it makes you feel like, oh no, I have this.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with this. And then it makes you feel comfortable. Yeah, everybody's dealing with this. Or this one's dealing with this. How many people got prescribed what is it called? Valium.
Yeah.
In like the 40s and 50s.
Mhm.
Like Valium was crazy.
Yeah.
But then you find out the effects that it has on you.
A lot of stuff that they were prescribed. I mean, how many now you see all these lawsuit commercials where you prescribed this. You know what I mean? It's like they're. I mean, I saw an interview with RFK on. He was on some liberal podcast. Man, which one was? Oh, he was on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking to them about.
Breakfast Club?
Yeah, he was on. He went on the Breakfast Club.
Who?
RFK Jr.
Oh, okay.
It was actually a good interview because he's a Democrat, so they weren't being rude to him, except for that girl. That lady was like, trying to do her thing, but there was no way in on him because he's not a Republican. You know what I mean? So he doesn't like Trump. You know what I mean? So there was no way to. But she kept trying to. Her angle against him was trying to defend the vaccine so much, the COVID vaccine.
Right.
So he was telling a story about how he got vaccine injured or something like that. I forget why I brought up RFK. Something to do with vaccines. Something to do with the FDA and
while
CDC.
Why think about that? I'm gonna say hi to Emma.
Emma.
Paul Horner said they Epsteined him. We were talking about the Sacklers and Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
And then Theris says that's what they do practice. I don't know what that means. Theris, let us know. Shout out to Courtney.
Courtney, what's up? What's up, sis?
Court?
Yeah, but I don't remember why I brought up RFK. He was on the Breakfast Club, but go watch that interview because it was good. He talks a lot about the things that they did to get vaccines on the schedule, which like a lot of the ways they lied and a lot of the ways they kept introducing new vaccines and the way that pharmaceutical companies realized that it was guaranteed money for them if they could get it on the schedule. So that was their whole motivation, was to develop these vaccines, get them on the schedule, because then kids were forced to take them to get in schools, to, it was guaranteed money for them.
Right.
I think that's why I was going to bring it up, because he was talking about one of the women whose son got injured by a vaccine and got like a $20 million payout, but the vaccine companies don't pay those payouts. They're paid from another government agency. The vaccine companies are protected from paying out those lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it comes out of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's no incentive for them to tell the truth about their vaccines.
The trade-off was the VAERS system, but
right. But what is that?
Compromised now,
Yeah,
too.
and it's like, what does that even do? Like, they can always just downplay that.
Yeah, you get the listed, but
yeah.
All these drugs are just for the pharmaceutical companies to make money. That's all it is. Because my aunt, they told her she had cancer on her breast. She didn't. Because when she went back to get the other breast checked, the lady said to her, the first one, you never had cancer, because they cut her breast off. But they gave her these pills. They were like thousands of dollars. And I sat down and I read all the side effects. I said, do not take those pills. Heart attack, this and that. She never took them. That was 7 years ago. And she's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the money.
Love of money.
Yeah.
Love of money is the root of all evil.
Root.
That's what we're dealing with.
same thing with the Moderna.
The Moderna, yeah.
Moderna.
They never brought a successful drug until the COVID vax.
Really?
Yeah.
They've always failed.
They've always failed.
Well,
was the
they
first
failed
one.
again.
They failed again.
They're still a failure, according to what a successful drug is supposed to do.
It's just
They're successful.
Right.
yeah.
They made money.
Money laundering.
Yeah.
They went under the radar.
Yeah.
But now,
They got that cheat code where they got Game Genie. That's what they got.
Yeah. Because any other time, the amount of people that died or had complications.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It would be a no-brainer.
Yep.
But
Money.
Yep. I saw a video today I shared it on the Young Lion story of, I forget who the doctor was, talking about how many people have died because of the vaccines. Allegedly. Let me just say that because we are on a live stream. But let me play this video because we're talking about women, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about people not being ushered into adulthood and purpose and everything. This video went kind of viral because this woman on TikTok was talking about her life as a 29-year-old woman with no purpose, basically.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I am 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone, and I saw a picture of shakshuka, and I thought, you know what sounds really good? Maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today. Because I have no plans, and I don't have kids, and I don't have a husband, and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. So that's on my agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix about blue zone countries. So I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and I don't have kids and I should be further along at 29.
That's where the truth really came out right there.
Almost 30. I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. And I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to, really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should be in life.
Yeah, so.
All right.
Does that sound like a meaningful day to you guys?
I mean, I don't think you have to be married. Like, let's get that clear. Like,
yeah.
I don't think but you have to have purpose.
Right.
You know, you have to have something that you're working towards. It's beyond your job.
Right.
You know, you need meaning. You need purpose.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, this woman it sounds like a big cope to me, but she's sitting there praising her day about how she got up late because she was at Beyonce drinking all night and then scrolling social media, and then social media told her what she should cook for dinner. So then she's going to spend the rest of her day watching Netflix and documentaries and Hulu and making the thing that social media made her want to make because, you know what I mean? It's
you already know what kind of video it's going to be when she says she was at Beyonce.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But it's just, to me, it's like, that sounds like it sounds like a NPC existence. Like, you are just the perfect candidate for what the Matrix wants out of human beings. You know what I mean? You're not going to have kids. You're not going to have any purpose. You're not going to be a problem. You're just going to be a consumer. Like, everything she talked about is consumption.
Right.
Nothing about production. Nothing about what you're adding to society.
You're not challenging anything.
Yeah. You're just a consumer.
You're ineffective.
You're just a worker for the system and a consumer. You're just playing your little part in the Matrix.
And
you know
you're
what I
lying
mean?
to yourself.
Yeah.
You're lying to yourself.
Lying
You
to
make
yourself.
yourself feel, that I really don't need this, but you really want it.
Because that little bit of truth came out when she was like, whenever I'm hard on myself about not having kids and not being married, it's like, because you innately know that something is wrong. Like, your subconscious knows that this is not a valuable life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you can fill it with a bunch of stuff,
that's the hole you're trying to fill.
Yeah.
A bunch of fillers.
And part of that is making a TikTok video that people will validate her with. You know what I mean? So she can go on there and get all the, you go, girl. Yes, queen.
I like to read the comments.
Yeah.
Well, Paul commented and said she's trying too hard to make it sound like she's okay. But really, she's unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Reminds me of, what's her name? The comedian girl.
Oh, yeah. About, Chelsea Handler.
Chelsea.
She made that video about being 50 and not having kids and how her life is so much better than yours because all she does is smoke weed and masturbate all day.
Yeah. It's a selfish existence. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun and be able. I love being by myself sometimes.
Right.
I have never had a problem with being by myself, but But man, when you lay down your life for other people, when you humble yourself and just like step into roles where you'll tell yourself, I don't need to do that. But you see there's problems, you know, and like, okay, well, go do it. You know what I mean? Go help.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so fulfilling.
Yeah.
It is.
You know?
It is.
And when you have a family and a community that depends on you, you have a built-in sense of purpose there.
Yeah.
And if your life is just about consuming and watching things and pointless fulfillment, it's just like eventually that's going to get old.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why a lot of women end up on antidepressants and end up, you know, or in bad relationships because you get so desperate. Like this girl, if she ends up turning 35 years old, then it's like, you know, the red pill calls it the wall, you know, and you become desperate. Then you'll take anything, you know.
Yeah. She's a perfect candidate for communism. They'll tell you what to do.
So this is why women like this are then in the voting system, and what they want goes completely against what we want for society. You know what I mean? So let's play another video from a TikToker, and this is another girl, another end of the spectrum, talking about her issues, and she's crying in the video. So,
in the span of 24 hours, I had one man tell me that nobody will date a girl with a kid. And then I vented to another guy about the person who said that. And then he told me, no, that's not true. But a man doesn't want to date a girl who's slept with a lot of guys. 2 for 2.
So I think what you see there is a girl who's been lied to by feminism about what matters and what doesn't matter. You know what I mean? When you see young girls who think, because how often do we see those videos where it's like, oh, body count doesn't matter. Oh,
yeah.
You know, no one should be able to judge you by who you've been with. And it's like, okay, you can think that way. But the reality of it is men really don't want to marry someone who's been promiscuous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But see, man, this is why we need God. This is why we need Jesus. Because those things change. Right? Like she's sad and she's complaining about what she did to herself because she made bad choices.
Yep.
Right? And now she's complaining about the bad choices she made because somebody's telling her the truth.
Right.
But that's not the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is that God still loves you and he accepts you. Even though you might be rejected by a lot of men, you're accepted by God.
Yeah.
And if you give your life to him, he can change your whole life.
Yep.
And then you could find that person.
Right.
But more than finding that person, you're going to have purpose that you never had before, like you were just saying. And that's so key, because then it takes away those because those things hurt. You know, you make mistakes and you don't want to hear the truth, you know. It's hard to hear the truth. It hurts to hear the truth. But that's what happens when we don't have any gauge and we're just going out there and doing whatever we feel is right and however we want to live. And eventually the truth is going to smack you in the face.
Yep.
You know, but again, you still have the option to choose life, to choose God.
Yeah, man. I just thought that was interesting because it's two young women struggling with choices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of them is more of in the cope, and the other one is just crying. You know?
Yeah.
All right, let's play this. You had this clip from Joe Rogan with this guy. He's annoying. I don't know what this clip is, but I know this guy. I remember this interview, and he was annoying.
Yeah.
That's a dude from that show.
Trans kid. He's explained that, you know, my child from a very young age consistently said, I am a girl. Never changed their mind. And so the humane thing and the thing that he felt was good to do as a parent was to like embrace that choice. I shouldn't even
Affect
phrase it
their
as a choice,
development.
like embrace that identity.
But it is a choice, right?
I
You're
know.
choosing to add hormones to a child's body,
It's
or hormone
a choice
blockers.
it's a choice on the part of the parent.
Okay, but if that's who they are, if they think that they're a girl, why do you have to give them hormones to make them more of a girl?
Because I'm sorry. Can you expand on the question?
It's a simple question. If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl. Why are
Right.
you adding hormones?
Right.
You're choosing to inject
Yeah.
things into this child's body on a regular basis that are going to radically affect the physical development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this isn't a choice. Well, it's definitely a choice to do that.
Yeah. And that's one of the conundrums that I've heard people bring up many, many times, where it's like, if you are so adamant that, first of all, that gender and sex is a social construct, and that if you feel inside that you're a woman, then you're a woman. So then why do you need other people to see? Like, what do you need? What are you doing to yourself to then alter yourself to be more of a woman if it's about how you feel?
Yeah, because you need to prove it to other people.
Mhm.
Because you wouldn't have to do that if you didn't have to prove it to other people.
Right.
Like,
That's all it's about.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need approval from other people.
Yeah, and it was just funny to me because he's like, what was the question again? Like, he didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, because it's
his brain broke.
Yeah. Because you get so caught up. Like, I've seen this from Sheikh, what's his name?
Uger.
Shank.
There you go.
Uger.
Like,
Shank.
these people, I see it a lot. Like, I'm noticing, like, people who are, like him, Democrats, they care a lot, but they just don't process it. So they don't realize that your care is actually neglect. Your care is neglect. Like, you might really intentionally want to care for somebody, but bro, you have no foundation. We were just talking about earlier, like, because he said like the woman or the child believes he's a girl, right?
Yeah.
From an early age. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Child believes he's a girl. But again, what were we just talking about? Imagination, right?
Mhm.
It's imagination. Now, you got to give them a foundation. You can't just imagine whatever you want to imagine about yourself. No, you need a foundation. There are foundational truths that you have to build from, or else the whole house falls down. And eventually it's going to fall down. And this is why, like, when you get challenged, these things fall apart.
Yep.
They can't stand up in court.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you go through the process of like when you're going through the process of what's it called in court when people are being
discovery,
cross-examined,
examination.
Oh,
There you go. When you're going through cross-examination, like your story sounds great, right?
Right.
You know how like when
the prosecute, when
they're bringing they put somebody up there and they're asking them the questions,
Right.
and it sounds so great. But once you get that cross-examination, it all falls apart.
Poke holes and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
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 Paul said the same thing you said, Jamie.
His brain broke. Yeah.
Because you take the same kid, what do they say? I'm a dinosaur.
Right.
Really believe I'm a dinosaur.
He's been saying he's a dinosaur since he was little.
Yeah. Inject him with some.
We should really get him
some lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should cut his arms.
Arms shorter.
Or remember the
tail.
Dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But think about
Yeah.
what if we went there? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then you think that's care.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember those people that think they're lizards and they get like all the tattoos and the eye tattoos and stuff. Start doing that to your kids.
It's true.
That would be looked at as abuse.
Abuse.
I always go back to how I felt inside when I was a kid, like 8 years old, and I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I had the right people around me, quote unquote, that were caring for, like, yeah, you really can be a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah. affirming care.
Yeah.
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 Like if I, dude, I would have went crazy.
Yeah.
Like, because I would have believed the lie that I could be a Ninja Turtle.
What New Jersey is trying to do, hide the gender stuff from the parents.
Yep.
So if you would have went to school, said you were a Ninja Turtle, they wouldn't have had to tell your mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they turned you into a Ninja Turtle.
Yep. And everyone in the school is calling you Donatello and Michelangelo,
Yeah.
and your mom don't know nothing about
Nothing
it.
about it.
They got a little fake splinter in the classroom just to appease you.
Yeah.
Your desk is in the
A
corner.
little
They
sewer.
do a little mock
Fake
sewer
sewer.
around you. You know what I mean?
I wanted to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I probably would have died
Yeah. Trying to
swing
fulfill that.
swing from the
Yeah.
buildings.
But there is kids that are like identifying as cats now, and then they're appeasing them, and you have to let them, meow in class and stuff like that.
Providing them kitty litter.
Yeah,
Like,
but
those
it's
little
like,
things.
are we gonna then? What would you then like make them go out in the wild, or would you let them sleep outside? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Or would you let them poop in the kitty litter?
No, they
Let
do.
They
Let
do.
them play it.
What?
And
Yes.
They're building it
No,
in
they
schools.
aren't doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought they just had kitty litter, but they really make them go poop in the
They don't make them.
No, they
Yeah,
want to.
They make themselves.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah. All right. let's
But
play.
back to the
Go ahead.
Spider-Man. This is something stupid. We were just in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you were thinking about
I
that?
still get those when I'm in a city where there's buildings. I still think of that.
You
Like
think
I
of-
love Spider-Man so much.
You can swing
I'll
from
think
that building.
Yo, it'd be so cool if I could just.
Swing from the building to building.
But I know that's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago's beautiful, by the way.
The
It
difference
is.
is you didn't believe it from when you were a child.
Yeah. Right. I want to point that out. Like, people, they talk a lot of crap on Chicago, man, and I'm sure it is pretty rough in like the South Side, and if you go to those neighborhoods. But the downtown Chicago is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of hope for that city when we were there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City in the garden.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's play this video. Another.
Worked with the Navy SEALs, and I asked them, they pick like the guys that go on SEAL teams, because they're the best of the best of the best of the best. They drew a graph for me, and on one side they wrote the word performance, and on the other side they wrote the word trust. The way they put it is, I may trust you with my life, do I trust you with my money and my wife? They're SEALs. This is what they told me. Nobody wants this person, the low performer of low trust. Everybody wants this person, the high performer of high trust. They learned is that this person, a high performer of low trust, is a toxic leader and a toxic team member. They would rather have a medium performer of high trust, sometimes even a low performer of high trust, it's a relative scale, over this person. This is the highest performing organization on the planet, and this person is more important than this person. The problem in business is we have lopsided metrics. We have 1,000,001 metrics to measure someone's performance, negligible to no metrics to measure someone's trustworthiness, which is bad for the long game because it eventually destroys the whole organization.
I like this. Competent leaders without character can actually do more damage than good a lot of the time.
Worked with the Navy SEALs, and I asked.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I never saw that before, but it makes a lot of sense. I think that's why we have so many issues in our company with finding good people, because it's like we do place trust over performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that sometimes.
Yeah. Especially when you think about the creative space, when everyone is like so wowed by your performance ability.
Yeah.
And where it can be like, no matter how untrustworthy you are, if you're good at performance, everyone wants you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we kind of we don't move that way.
Yeah. I think people look at gifts, but they're not focusing on character.
Mhm.
You know, like, because character has to do with trust. Like, your character is built on character structure, right? So it's built on a foundation of trust.
Yeah.
But so many people, especially in America, we look at, oh, they're so good at that.
Mhm.
You know, wow, I can't believe they can draw that way.
Right.
But then they're horrible people.
Yeah.
You know. And I'm so turned off by that.
Mhm.
Like, y'all know we've dealt with so many
Oh my gosh.
amazing musicians,
Yeah.
even since we were kids, and people we
Yep.
knew from dad, you know,
Mhm.
but yet they're not
Character.
trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, their characters are horrible.
Yeah.
I keep on seeing that video. What is that, bro?
Which
Can we
one?
play it? The tractor thing?
I will. Let me get to it. That's like one for the very end because it's just a funny, interesting video. Bring up something, but I got one more Jake sent me. Oh no, we still got a bunch.
Do we?
Well, the one from last week that we never played.
Just one from last week.
And then with the Candace Owens one that you sent me.
Okay. Yeah, we can play that.
Okay.
That's pretty simple.
Okay.
Just thought
I was like, dang, it's going to be a long night. Eh?
Conspiracy theory. Shedding is the transmission of vaccine virus strains from vaccinees, that are people that are choosing to get this vaccine, to non-vaccinated contacts. And that is on this FDA insert for the rotavirus vaccine. Under section 5.5, it says transmission of vaccine virus strains from vaccinees to non-vaccinated contacts has been observed post-marketing. Wow. This means that if you get the rotavirus vaccine, you can actually shed it to me.
Yeah, I have heard this. I don't know how much the shedding affects, and it sounds scary.
Yeah, or how it happens.
Yeah, but I have heard this, and it is in their literature.
Wait a minute. If somebody gets the vaccine, they can...
And you're around them.
Or having sex with them.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, again, I don't know
how it happens.
But
they're claiming that it occurs. Shedding. They call it shedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it seems like it's a built-in design of the vaccine. Like the purpose of it is to like even get it to people that haven't taken it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're dealing with some crazy times.
Or is it a way to divide people again?
Could be.
That too.
Could be. 2 birds with 1 stone, right? All right. This is a clip that Jake had from last week. Again, going on the women. We've been kind of talking about women a lot. So these are women that have struggled with the idea of what was it? Conservative, like
it has to do with shame.
Shame, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. I'm trying to remember what this was.
Let's just play it.
Modesty.
Right.
Shame.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Being modest, modestly dressed and stuff like that.
Men acknowledge that their bodies are gifts from God, but women have a tendency to think that their bodies are objects of shame, that they have to hide it, whether it's a perverted view of modesty or whether it is some kind of assignment. You know, you're not thin enough, you're not curvy enough, you're not young enough.
What I just want to address one thing. Men think their bodies are gifts from God. Where does that come from?
Their bodies or
no, our bodies. Like men, we think
Men
our
and
bodies are a gift from God. Where does that
She
come
went
from?
in more into that. I didn't
Okay.
do all that.
Yeah, I just
But
wanted to know
she
where that was
just
coming
saying-
from.
It was more like men are more confident in their body. Like they'll make changes quickly, and they'll look at something and be like, "Yeah, I don't like that," and then they'll try to change it.
Okay.
Like
What year is this from? This year?
I think so.
This is recent.
Look,
Yeah.
do
Why?
you even Instagram, lady? 'Cause they're not ashamed of anything.
Women, right?
Women are not ashamed of anything.
Right. Women are.
Well, you know, women are very insecure.
They are.
Yeah.
They're always seeking approval.
I like the thing, which they're talking more about in the believer.
Oh, Christian.
space.
Okay.
Right. But if you even look at like, yeah, women are not ashamed because that's the armor they put on to cover up their shame.
Right.
Or their insecurity. I don't
Right.
think they're actually, they just learn how to put that on, but that's not, even that is a facade.
Mhm.
Like, you know.
So you think Lizzo really does want to lose weight?
Wow.
She did try to
If
lose weight, right?
hold up. If she didn't, why would she be telling everybody around her to lose weight?
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause maybe she
Right?
only wants to be. She wants to be the only one. You know, can only be one queen.
Dude, it's only works like Lizzo didn't think through her whole thing.
Yeah.
She thought that that's a way to get in, but she probably now is subservient to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where she's a slave to it now.
I saw a funny meme. there was Lizzo be at her rehearsals, like, and it was the scene from The Wiz with the remember the witch from The Wiz?
No, you played that.
Nobody bring me.
Didn't you play that on here?
I didn't play that on here.
Oh,
but
maybe you sent it
was
to
funny.
us.
I think I did send it to y'all.
I did see that.
She was yelling at them. Yeah.
Tall enough, whatever. It's always to the women. It's always a not enough. And I know for me, having grown up with feeling this not enough at all times, whether it spun me into an eating disorder from the time I was 15 to the time I was 21, then it had translated itself with sexually inappropriate behavior because I went from being a young girl that connected with the value of her femininity. Because I was a tomboy, I went right to my sexuality. And so, looking for things of power. And then
what would have been the healthy trajectory
I think
there?
the healthy trajectory is what I see you developing with your daughters. Like you have this beautiful physical body that has the power to carry and create life. And modesty isn't about hiding it from men, but it is about treasuring what you've been given and making sure that we live our lives in a stewardship where we take care of our body. We don't leverage it for control or approval, or once we've misused it, just put on a garment of shame.
Yeah.
And, I think that one of the things that I love about your book, Christian, is you address the difference between having done something that you're ashamed of and taking shame on as an identity.
Yeah.
Because shame is a signal. Like when you do something wrong, it's okay to feel ashamed of your choice. It's not okay to stay in that place. And going back, and again, I want to throw this back to you after this, but going back to Christianity, it's interesting. When I got saved, I understood the weight of my poor choices. I understood regret. I understood consequences. And the gospel was presented to me in such a generous, loving way that I embraced it with all of my heart, all of my soul, all of my body, all of my strength. But somewhere along the line, I began to think what was a gift now needed to be earned. And I don't know when that exchange means, because I had this standard, because we're talking about perfection, is that we have a God that says, be thou perfect as I am perfect. So what he is doing is perfecting us. He is perfecting us, not we perfect ourselves. And as I behold him, not as I behold my failures, not as I behold my mistakes. There's a mercy reset every single morning for a reason. But for me, I don't know where it became this exchange of, yes, he gave his life for me to have his life and to be completely forgiven of all the things I did before I became a Christian. But now that I know better, shame is back on me. And that became such a interesting exchange for me where, and even in the church, I remember feeling this. I talk to young girls and I say, hey, listen, this is what Jesus did in my life. This was my past. And people would say, don't tell them what your past was. And I'd be like, well, why should I be ashamed of that? Why wouldn't I want to talk about the things? Because things that live in darkness and shadow grow, and things that live in light, they're revealed. God takes the refining from it. And I love that you've done this with your book, where you've said, okay, I'm going to shine some light. And I'm sure this book was cathartic for you.
Okay.
Sounds like it might be a good book.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there, but one of the things that I liked was how she was saying that I'm trying to say this in the right way. All right. How you treasure your body and
steward it.
You steward it,
protect it,
and you don't have to feel ashamed about it or try to cover it up in the wrong way.
Right.
That's a false excuse me. That's a false modesty.
Right.
But
and by that you're referring to hijabs, I'm assuming.
I mean, it can be.
What?
Hijabs. Like it can be, because if you're thinking about it, like you're covering up so that things don't happen.
Right.
But really, it's about treasuring yourself, recognizing the worth in these things. Only God can do that.
Right.
God shows you these things.
I know there's the Pentecostal, some of those sects where it's like women can't wear pants, they have to wear long dresses at all times.
Yeah.
And it's about this image of modesty,
Right.
Which is like I understand what she's saying too, especially having daughters, where it's like you have to teach them. It's not about being afraid of people seeing you. It's about, because then you put an insecurity in them.
Right.
It's about knowing the value of what your body is and why it's God's, and why you don't disrespect it in those ways by giving it over to everyone, and why you don't use your body for power over people,
That's the other thing.
for influence and for control or whatever, for self gratification, whatever, for to seek attention. You don't use your body in those ways, because that's also disrespecting it. You know, that's also not stewarding over property, and it's just going to create other insecurities.
Yeah, I think that's what Stan was kind of alluding to, like when he was like, "Wait, girls aren't ashamed.
Yeah,
they're not ashamed because of the power that they get.
They gain power. Yeah.
So
they will use their body in that way.
Yeah, and that's why I said they put it on as an armor.
Yeah,
right. It's more of an armor. It's not real, because even the armor can be destroyed, right, with the right power
or the right weapon.
Along.
The right weapon can pierce that armor, right, or find a chink in it. You know what I mean? No offense.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I am offended.
That is an actual word, guys. I mean, it does come.
Armor.
It is not really a slur, but yeah, I think women we do need to teach our daughters about the trappings of feeling that, because it is addictive when you get that little taste of power. You know what I mean? When you see, boys will do stuff for me because they like the way I look. You know what I mean? And when you give yourself over to that, like, this is why we have this OnlyFans culture, this porn-ridden culture now, because
women flying to Dubai, and Qatar,
and you know, doing all kinds of disgusting things for money. Yeah.
The majority of like beautiful women. Why is it that these women are out there doing crazy stuff? Because they're being groomed. They're being hunted, I'll say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they don't realize it.
Yeah.
So then they think the hunting is to give you a false worth. Again, that's the armor.
Yeah.
To give you a false worth and to make you feel that you have worth because of what you look like or what you can do. There we go again. It's the same thing we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Instead of your character, you know,
it's your performance.
Yeah, it's your performance.
Yeah.
Right? But God gave you that. You didn't. You have nothing to do with that,
right? Unless you have a BBL, then you kind of cheated a little bit.
Yeah.
You game genie.
Yeah, you can get a lot of. Dude. I'm so surprised at how many people have plastic surgery nowadays. It's crazy to me. Like, I think I was talking to Leslie, and she was like, we were talking about like, oh wow, I didn't know this person and this person, like people who we know.
Yeah,
dude, I don't pay attention to none of that. Like, but
it's become so normal now.
Yeah. I know a bunch of people in my family that had it done.
Yeah, it's just become part of the culture now, where it's like, oh yeah, everybody does that.
Yeah,
you know, you just a little tweak here and there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like getting a haircut nowadays. Yeah,
but you're still poor.
Yep.
Broke.
Yep. Still insecure.
Yeah, still insecure.
Look at all the most sought after people, like looks wise in society, are constantly doing more work to themselves, because you don't fill that hole, man. You go down that road, it's endless. You're always looking for, because one thing you can't change, you're gonna age.
Yeah.
And these women, when you make that your source of power, that's the real story of Sleeping Beauty to me. Like, you know, you make that your source of power, your beauty. You know what I mean? That's what the queen did. You know, and because of that, anybody, was it Sleeping Beauty or Snow White?
White, right?
Snow White, yeah. I don't know why I thought Sleeping Beauty. Snow White.
They're so similar.
Yeah, because they both had mirrors, right? Did they both have mirrors? I don't know. I can't remember. All these witches and but mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? You know what I mean? It's like she only is fulfilled if she's the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yeah,
you know,
that's where she gets her worth.
That's where she gets her worth and her power.
Yeah,
and all she wants to do is kill this person that's going to take her power away. You know, and you see that. You see the the struggle that a lot of these women, especially celebrity women, deal with when they get older, and how they have to cope with the idea of not being as desired as they once were, because all their power comes in being desired.
Madonna.
Sheesh,
Madonna she looks like a monster.
She looks like the Saw doll.
Bad. Yeah.
You know what the Saw doll looks like
Yeah.
from the Saw movies?
Pull it up.
Yeah.
It's a shame, man.
Hold on, let me pull it up.
You gotta
fill that
pull up
hole.
Madonna and then pull up
Saw.
the Saw doll
Yep.
side by side.
Look at
That
Mi-
one,
well,
that
look at
one, yeah.
Michael-
There we go.
Michael Jackson, when he did some stuff.
Yeah.
Pull this up, man. Hold up. This is what Madonna looks like. Let me pull up a mix.
Speaking of Michael, I kind of started watching the Michael movie on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It is terrible.
Really?
Terrible acting.
It's fun. My son Jakey, he just asked me like, "Why did he do all that to his face?" He was literally the other day.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to him about it. Like, yeah, some people are very insecure, and when you feel like you're doing this stuff and you don't recognize as a young age, you know, you want to be loved by people, like just going into it. And he's like, oh.
What about Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
How come it doesn't look that bad?
I know. I was trying to find.
That
I was
one,
trying to
that
find
one.
the picture. Okay, pull it up, Mom. That's one of them, but
Yikes.
and that's what she used to look like. Look,
She looked better back then.
Yeah, right.
sheesh. Wow.
Just looks fake.
Time is ticking.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up with this one video. This is interesting. I want to play this because this is just like
This is one Moon's been.
yeah, he keeps seeing it.
spying
He
on.
keeps seeing it go by. So I
Moon's
saw
always
this.
looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, I know. I want to find a way to stop that from happening, but it can't happen because
Build
we're
that
right
wall.
next to each other.
Build that wall. Build that wall.
So we always talk about, you know, how we don't really know ancient history. We really don't know what happened. We're told certain things. We honestly don't know anything about the past.
I know.
You know
some things.
We know some things. And
Giants.
but I'm saying what we've been told is history. A lot of it, like I saw these one conspiracy theory about how like there's 200 years just like that we might not even exist in the timeline of what we think history is.
Okay.
I gotta send y'all the video on this because it's
Please
pretty
do.
interesting. Like how there might be like 200 years that don't exist.
Just missing.
Yeah, where it's like we're just told, oh no, that's like medieval times. You know what I mean? And it's really just a time that only spanned like 100 years. They've stretched it out over like 400 years.
Okay.
But this is a video of a construction vehicle trying to tow one rock from the Egyptian pyramids. Pull this up, Mom. Look at this. Just one little stone. That's how heavy this stone is.
And how did they
And
get the stone
Now
up?
we know the story is that they had to drag these stones from a quarry that was hundreds of miles away from the pyramid site. So you're telling me human beings with just like no wheels and like that was believed to be these sled systems and these like ramp systems carried stones that this truck is struggling to drag that far. And this is one of the smaller stones.
Yeah.
The tweet says,
Yeah, that's a picture down on the bottom. I just noticed that.
what?
Egyptians lugging.
Yeah.
It looks like they have slaves.
Yeah, that's the picture of it.
That's not a real picture, guys.
They were dragging.
They're giants.
Yeah.
Picking the.
Yeah, like they're dragging this stone up these ramps. We're supposed to believe that. So hold on, let me show what the tweet says. This is not zooming out now. It says this is what happens when you try to move a liftable ancient Egyptian stone. there are some stones that actually weighed over 100 tons and there are close to 4 million blocks. This puts pyramid building into context. 4 million of these size blocks were cut, quarried, shaped, and positioned every 2 to 4 minutes, 24 hours per day, 7 days a week for 25 years. How do you know that?
Yeah, how do
First
you know
of all,
that?
and second of all, that just sounds impossible. Stop it. When you take into consideration all without electrical power or machines, you come to the conclusion that this couldn't possibly be done by civilization that thousands of years ago were living in Stone Age, according to mainstream history. So this person is acknowledging that as well. They're like, something ain't right here.
Yeah.
Something don't add up about what we're told about history. And we all talked about the Graham Hancock documentary on Netflix that goes into ancient history and how a lot of it doesn't add up, which is a good one for people to watch. What's it called? Ancient Apocalypse or something?
Apocalypse.
Yeah, watch that. It's got some very interesting stuff in it. I mean, everything from his perspective is that, it's because of the lost city of Atlantis, which, that's just...
How do you know?
Yeah.
Graham.
Just like ancient aliens was... aliens did this. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
The why is always
usually
where people get it wrong.
I mean, they kind of explained it in the Book of Enoch, but that's extra biblical.
Can't give that too much credit.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up there. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sticking with us. Those that are still in the chat, I see Paul and Theris and Courtney, Lisa, shout out to you guys, all the Patreon members, all the young lions in the building. We appreciate y'all for sticking with us on a Tuesday night where it's nice and hot. We sweating in here.
Literally,
if you want to support us and help us get this AC back on, go to our Patreon, and for as little as $3 a month, you can support the Pride and become part of the Young Lions and sign up on the Patreon. And also, if you want to just throw some donation to the Cash App, $youngliontv. Plus, we got merch and music all available at the Young Lion merch store and on Jatan.com. We have new music coming out September 15th, the song called Grateful, which is something that we could all use a little bit more of, some gratefulness. It's coming out September 15th. It's a great up-tempo, upbeat song we're excited about. And, what else? Oh, Men's Retreat on October 27th. We will be at the, what's the name? Camp Menno Lake? Camp Menno Lake with the Gathering Place people. And, for the men, I think there was like 10 spots left the last time we checked. I don't know if any of those spots got filled, but you can go over to the Gathering Place Philly, and you can get a ticket to the men's retreat if you want to be a part of that, where it's going to be just, kind of like this, where it's going to be men, having purpose, having some tasks to do together to bring out conversation, bring down those walls, have men talk about real things.
I don't know. When is it? 27th?
October 27th.
No.
You let us know. But it's gonna be cool. We're all gonna have cabins. We're gonna be out there at a camp and have some food and play some games. The Frisbee game will be there.
Yes.
And we'll be having some competitions, some talks with the men. Just and bringing everybody into perspective with the Lord a little bit closer, and have some worship time and stuff like that. So stuff that we need to do as men. So that's coming up as well. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. Mom, thank you for your work over there. We appreciate you. I know you're hot over there. So we're going to wrap it up. And don't forget to like the video on your way out. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this video with your friends, and sign up for our Patreon, please. We appreciate y'all. Thank you, and we'll see you guys next week.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people in.